7-year-old Sam Bristow is a skillful driver. He can take a corner like a NASCAR racer. His trusty wheelchair is a source of fun and mobility, but Sam's young life has not been an easy ride.
Sam has a disorder called spinal muscular atrophy, and it's a motor neuron disorder, and it affects all of his muscles stemming from his trunk. So it affects his respiratory, his bowels, everything.
General strength.
Yeah.
Yeah. Basically, it's a genetic order, so it goes back as far as he was born. But he was diagnosed when he was 8 months old.
For his condition, there is no treatment and there is no cure. So it's just taking care of things as they come up.
Sam's condition is very complex and gives rise to many and varied issues requiring the help of surgeons, neurologists, social workers, occupational and recreational therapists, respiratory specialists, and more. He's had bowel surgery, countless pneumonias, and osteomyelitis, a bone infection that required extensive treatment.
So it's like a revolving door. Sam has a room on the surgery floor, 41, it's his. He comes in an awful lot. You know, there are very few times in my memory that we've gotten away with not being in there every couple of months. Sometimes the stays are longer, sometimes shorter. But everybody's so good, really good at the Janeway. And I remember watching the telethon a few years back and listening to people say that, you know, the people at the hospital are like family. And I get that. They are.
Because of his underlying condition, Sam also developed scoliosis, a curvature of the spine which caused him a lot of pain, restricted his breathing, and his ability to sit up in his wheelchair.
Sam came to me about a couple of years ago when we've been watching the curve. It's getting worse, and it came time that we had to do some operative procedure on him, and the procedure we just did was in January. So this is Sam in January. This is his x-ray in January on the left here, and you can see the big curve that he has. It comes right here. This is his lumbar spine, that's his thoracic spine, and it starts to push the lung, makes the space for the lung quite less, and also the fact that his pelvis and his head start to go in different directions. So it's hard to sit in a wheelchair. You become, the word that we use is unbalanced. And what we needed to do was we needed to correct it, straighten it out so he could sit in a wheelchair, number one, and number two, help his lungs so that infection secretions he could get out, and number three, the position of his muscles being weak, in the future he'd get even worse, so we needed to stop that as well. So we had a front surgery that you can see right here in this, with the staples, and then we did a back surgery where you can see staple line coming up here, and you can see 2 rods, and you can see the good correction that we got him on. We got him nice and straight. So now when we look at the x-rays, we got a number of things that we can see. We can see that the lungs got more space than it had over here. The curve's nice and straight, and when he sits up in his wheelchair, he'll be nice and straight.
It was a really difficult decision for us as to whether or not to do Sam's spinal surgery or not. There was a tremendous amount of risk. We had a lot of meetings with Dr. Sajpal, and once we took that leap of faith and decided to go ahead, we knew that Sam was in his hands. He did an outstanding job, and I'll never be able to thank him properly for everything that he's done for us. We saw immediate benefits to Sam's surgery, his appetite, his overall health, everything has improved. It was the right decision, and I want to thank everybody involved. Typically, he's just like any other kid. Gets up in the morning, go off to school. He spends the day there. He's got some great people at school that care for all of his needs. Comes home, hits the GameCube. As soon as we get through the door, that or a computer, he spends all of his time on with all of his buddies.
His life is his life for him, you know, and it's certainly not what we anticipated it to be, but that's who he is, and he's by and large probably the happiest kid that we know. You know, he never complains, he never gets upset. I think how many times have I been mad at you? Once or twice? That's about it. Never have to speak to him like that. He's a really good child, you know, considering everything he goes through. He's a happy kid, you know, aren't you?
Sam Bristow, another Miracle Kids story from the Janeway, the home of miracles.